Hi, I'm Wendy, and today I'm going to talk to you about being consistent in your style of communication. Now, I've talked a lot about clarity, which is a very important thing, but one of the other C's of communication is being very consistent in your approach. So why is this important? Because it builds trust, it builds connections, and it shows that you are reliable. And this is a very important aspect of your business communications. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how you can be more consistent with your communications. Now, the first thing you might like to do is to actually define your communication style. Clearly understand what it is, what style you prefer. Do you prefer to be a more formal communicator? Do you prefer to be a more informal, casual, friendly, off-the-cuff type of communicator? So it's important to define your style. It doesn't mean that you have to stick rigidly to that style all the time. However, if you are chopping and changing, especially between formal and informal, that can perhaps be a little bit confusing for some people. So in order to be more consistent, define your style and pretty much stick to that particular style in your business communications. The second tip I want to give is to stay very mindful about this style in all your different types of communications and in the different communication tools that you utilize. So whether it be face-to-face, emails, text, video conferences, instant messaging, letters, your style should reflect your brand or your persona and your image. So if you are informal in one communication tool and formal in another, it might be a little bit confusing for your audience. So with your communication style and the tools that you use, try to be consistent in that. You might like to create some guidelines, especially if you have a business and it's not just you, but you've got a team, and then you want, as we say, everybody to be singing from the same sheet of music. You want everybody to be the same. Then you might want to create a set of guidelines as to your communication style. Practice self-awareness, because if you're not aware of what your style is, it'll be very difficult to stick to one particular style and be consistent. So start, being a little bit aware of your own communication style and how it impacts others so that you can be more consistent. Seek feedback. If you're not very aware of what your communication style is, then ask people who hear it. Ask them what they think. Seek feedback from friends, from trusted colleagues, from clients, so you can get a better idea to help you become more consistent in your communications. There are templates that you can use. As I said, there's feedback, there's templates. If it is a written communication, absolutely proofread it, check for typos, check for spelling and grammar mistakes. Be sure that your content is not plagiarized. If you are using any AI, artificial intelligence tools, which is great, but make sure that you have got your own personality injected into that it's not going to come across as sounding too artificial or robotic. So do proofread. That's a very important tip that I give you. Practice regularly. As I've said before, practice makes perfect, or close to perfect. So, practice it, your various communication styles, to see what is appropriate, what feels natural, what feels authentic for you. Reflect on that feedback. It's one thing to ask for feedback. It's another thing to then reflect and action that feedback. So it's no good just saying, yeah, give me feedback, and that's great. But what are you going to do with that feedback? How are you going to use that feedback to improve and make your communications more consistent? Now, the other thing, you could set reminders to yourself to stay consistent, because it's not always easy to maintain a consistent approach throughout. Sometimes we can drift into a different style of communicating, but if you are very, you really do want to keep that communication style, then you might need to sort of have some little reminders. Evaluate how you're going. Changing your communication style it's not something that happens easily overnight. It will take practice, it will take commitment, and you need to keep going back, applying the feedback, evaluating, seeing how you're going, seeing if you're making those improvements, and becoming more and more consistent in your approach. So having a consistent style will not only enhance your professionalism, but it'll also contribute to a more effective way of communicating. Be intentional and be mindful about your consistent communication style in order to build trust, in order to build connections with other people. I hope those tips help you today, and have a go, have a practice and work on it. It will take time, but if you have a very clear goal about being more consistent, then you've got something to aim for. So good luck.